We're in for a wild night.
Welcome, everybody, to episode 109 of Born to be Wild, a Wild exclusive Hearthstone podcast where we have fun hanging out with friends, talking about the Wild format of Hearthstone, and spotlighting members of the Wild community. I'm your host, as always, Nate Wolf. It is great to be back on another beautiful Friday evening here in Portland, Oregon, hanging out with some great friends, having a good time, and we've got an awesome show lined up for y'all tonight. So, let me introduce two of my favorite people. Hydra, welcome back to the show. How you feeling this week?
Hey man, I'm doing a lot better than I was last week.
You sound better.
Thank you. I was I didn't actually listen to last week's episode, so I don't know how I sounded, but this week I went back to work and I was pretty rough the first couple days. I was still really fatigued. Not a lot of energy. Actually, on Monday when I got ready for work, just in showering and putting on my clothes and getting ready and getting my lunch and stuff, and I walked down the stairs and put my boots on. I'm like, I'm done. I want to go back to bed. But I had to go out the door, and actually today I told my wife when I woke up, this is the first day that I actually feel good, like in the morning. So
good.
It's good.
Well, I'm glad. That's good news. That's good news. Well, you sound wonderful. I'm happy to see you. You look better. That's for sure. Not that you're not trying to say you look bad, but I'm glad to see you and healthy and in good spirits. Also, welcome back, Electric Sheep City. It's good to see. I feel like I haven't seen you in a while, so I hope you had a great anniversary, and it's great to see it. And welcome back.
Yeah, great to see y'all too. And yeah, Hydra, you do sound better than last week. I listened to the episode, but I didn't watch it, so I can't speak to whether you look better than last week. But I mean, you look incredible. So there's always that.
So does your face.
Oh, thanks, buddy.
Oh,
you got me. Let's go. Yeah. So I had my 10th wedding anniversary last week, which was awesome.
Yeah.
Miss seeing y'all, but not enough to miss my 10th wedding anniversary for obvious reasons.
Priorities.
Exactly. And then actually hit legend again over the past week for the actually 51st time. So I tweeted about it and said 50th time, but I forgot to include the standard legend that I hit earlier this month. So that was my 51st legend, this time with Even Shaman. So I had not done that with Even Shaman yet, somehow.
What year is it?
It is the year of our Yogg 2020. 2022.
Right? That is
Year of our Yogg.
That's crazy. That who would have guessed that was a thing? Was it hard? Was it easy? Like, that is, talk about off meta. Like, that's I mean, wow.
Yeah.
How did it play? Like, I mean, I don't want to go too deep into it, but like, here's what happens, right? The meta gets like decided, if you will, and then people just like net deck stuff. And so I recall, like, when we saw these cards, we're like, oh, that's sweet, that'd be cool, an Even Shaman or Totem Shaman, if that's ever a thing, and then nobody played it. So yeah, I'm excited. You did something
For science!
So how did it go?
Yeah. So what had happened was, aggro druid, not exactly favorable in this current meta. So I was like, okay, let's try some other decks that I really liked back in the day, but I haven't really played practically any of lately.
Mm-hmm.
And so I did an autocomplete shaman, added Gen Greymane. I made like 3 or 4 changes. And pretty much sailed there. It was incredible. Anchor Totem was awesome. If you like get your thing from below down to 2, and then you for one turn, and then the next turn you play Anchor Totem, bringing thing from below down to 1, and then you play thing from below. Thing from below is a 1-cost card, and so it gets the buff from Anchor Totem. Which is awesome. So if you can make thing from below cost 1 with Anchor Totem on board, you get the buff there too, which was relevant way more times than I ever thought. The whole deck was really fun. And of course, Galaka Crawler featured heavily in that deck as well.
Oh, no doubt.
It was a blast. sailed up there from 4 to legend and don't have any more stats than that because it was on mobile and tablet.
Wow. That is incredible. That's cool. I
Yeah.
appreciate that. Oh no, here we go. Incoming even shaman meta. You broke the meta.
You know, I'm really impressed though. I think that's super cool. I love to see that. When you said that, I was like, you are joking. But you know, last week in the listener series match, we had I think it was Schmoopy Daddy played with the new anchor totem, and we were like, wow, that looks really strong. And I don't think anyone had really played around with it too much before, and so I'll have to try it out. I love that.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I don't know how like broadly competitive it is, but I mean it can hold its own against the aggro rogue, the pirate rogue, and is aggressive enough in and of itself to, you know, do the thing other than that. So I really recommend playing it for fun and, as mad scientists would say, for science.
For science. Wow. Very cool. Well, I'm happy to see you back. I feel like, hey, you know, the band's back together. Everything's cool. We got a fun show tonight, and we got some new stuff to look at. I love it when Hearthstone saves their announcements for right before our show. The timing is perfect, so it's great. We have things to talk about tonight.
That it is. So, and that we do. So, for those of you joining us for the first time, welcome aboard. Let me briefly explain how the show works. We record this podcast live every Friday evening at twitch.tv/borntobewildhs. And the video version of this podcast is then posted to YouTube shortly thereafter. Audio versions are also distributed to all podcast apps. So however you're watching, listening, or absorbing via osmosis this podcast today, thank you. Yes, you.
Yes, everybody. Thank you so much, everyone, especially everyone hanging out here live in Twitch chat. It's great to see everybody and kind of interact on the side as we're going through and, you know, chatting here and looking at your notes and comments and stuff as we're going through the show. So it's really great to see all here. A couple quick housekeeping things before we start the show proper. Just a brief content plug. So before we get started, I wanted to say a quick but very important thank you to Shokunin and to the other patrons of our show. Your support is it means the world to us. It really helps. You know, money that we get, we put right back into the show. Speaking of which, we have some new artwork in the works, and I'll show you all preview in just a second. If you're interested in supporting the show, there are a couple real quick and easy ways that you can do that. As Sheep was mentioning earlier, all of this content, we record it live on Twitch. It gets posted to YouTube. If you go to YouTube and like, comment, subscribe to our content there, it just helps other people find us. It helps with the algorithms. My brain kept wanting to say analytics, and I was like, nope, it's the algorithms to help other people find us. And then same thing with the audio version of the podcast. If you leave a review on iTunes or Spotify or Google Podcasts or your podcast app of choice, that helps other people find us. So it's just a nice thing that you can do for us if you're interested. Finally, if you're watching live on Twitch, we do have some emotes that you can unlock by subscribing to us. If you've got Amazon Prime, you can do that for free. Cool thing though, premiering tonight. So up on the screen right now is our existing emotes that we had, but we had some extra slots, and so we got new ones, and they're live right now. And so here they are up on the screen. They're really cool. So we got new ones. We got the praying one, the sunglasses, just deal with it, or the PogChamp one, and then we made a pirate one, which is so cool. I love the pirate. It's so fun.
I love this pirate one. I wish it was something I could actually use in game in Hearthstone and make my hero portrait this pirate.
Right? Yeah.
That Nas is saying, "Set sail. The podcast is under my command."
Yeah.
I love it. And so we have emotes, and if you don't want to, if you don't want to spend money, you don't want to subscribe or whatever, it's totally fine. We have a bunch that are free as well. If you follow the show, you unlock some for free as well. So really fun. They're live right now, so you can use them whenever. Super cool. Also, just for funsies, so a big shout out to Christina Oe, who is the artist that we work with on all of these. She's incredible. She's wonderful and amazing. And then there's great artwork. And what we've been doing is every time there's a new expansion, we'll work with her on some new artwork that we can use for, I don't know, promotional stuff or whatever. Finally, we launched the merch shop. It's up. There's shirts there. The quality is great. I wore one last week on the show. They're priced at like $20 a shirt. So we make like, I think like $2 or $3, not much, but didn't want them to be expensive, wanted to be accessible, and the quality is really good. So if that's something you're interested in, there's a link in chat. It's if you go to our website and scroll all the way to the bottom, there's a link that says merch. You check that out. But anyways, so she's working on new artwork for us as well for that. And so we do a new one with each expansion. And so the one for the Sunken City is in the works. I did a little terrible picture and sent her, and then she's in the process of making this great one. And so
your quote unquote terrible picture was really good, actually.
Yeah, it really was.
It was.
She really like made it come to life. I should put it up side by side. I'd have to probably dig for it in our group chat over here in Discord. Let's see how far. Oh wait, there it is. Here, hold on. I'll add it.
You can just combing through the records.
I found it.
I see it. It's good.
It really is.
let me add it here. You can see them side by side. It's pretty funny. But
I mean, if you put them side by side, it's not going to look as good as the like professional one. But I mean, it's really good though.
Here, we just put this on a t-shirt instead. Oh, it's really giant.
Yeah, Nate, you have Discord Nitro, don't you? That is huge.
Hey, there we go. But okay, so let me move this stuff around on the screen a little bit. But look, she translated it so well. My drawing to her interpretation is so great. So we've got our mascot character Nas holding the swordfish, of course, with the claw hand and a bunch of waves and fish and all that stuff. So
it's so good.
I can't wait to see it in color. So it'll be a little bit, but this is the next incoming, and we can make shirts and posters and whatever else with it. So it's kind of fun.
Excitement abounds.
Right? Yeah, I'm excited. I'm definitely excited for her. She does great work. So anyway, sorry, I kind of went off the deep end on that. But
that was a great pun.
But
into the Sunken City.
Yes.
If you know, then you know.
If you know, then you know. Draco Cat has an amazing voice, and if y'all haven't listened to that song, you really should. And big fan of D Money as well.
I watched it more than once. I watched it at least twice, maybe 6 or 7.
I definitely watched it more than twice as well.
I had it on repeat for a while. Yeah, it's really good. It's really good. Do I have anything else that I need to say? Oh, we have a Patreon if anyone's interested in donating to the show. Any money that we get, we put back in. So like the artwork for Christina, it costs money. And
she is a professional.
But she is, and she's worth every penny. And we get it high res so that it can be put on things like t-shirts and stuff and posters. So we get licensing for all that stuff. And so anyways. Finally, last thing is that if you're interested in interacting with any of us, we do have a Discord channel. If you're not familiar with Discord, it's basically it's an online community type of thing where we hang out with friends, we share deck lists, we post news updates, and there's a lot of people. It's a fun, friendly place, and if you want to hang out with us, come join it. Links on the website, links in chat right now, and come hang out.
Yeah, so switching gears a little bit to the listeners series.
Oh, yeah.
Season 5 is upon us. So week 1 is in the bag. Week 2, we are casting a match after tonight's podcast. So if you're watching live, stick around to watch Maxibon 1, 2, 3, 4 versus Pigpen. It's going to be an epic battle. Pigpen and I went toe to toe, and
wouldn't it be like hoof to hoof, sheep and pig?
It was the barnyard brawl. That is what we put in our calendars. Actively put in our calendar.
Pig's foot versus sheep's hoof.
That's great.
Exactly. So Pigpen is incredible. And of course, everybody knows Maxibon is also a force to be reckoned with. And by force, I mean force of nature.
And Savage Roar.
Both together. So I can't wait to watch this clash of titans. The victor of the Barnyard Brawl taking on Maxibon. It's going to be epic. And in week 2, we are covering the Night Elf Empire.
Ooh, can I play the sound clip?
Please do. Goliath, take it away.
In the primordial days of Azeroth, the life-giving magic of the Well of Eternity accelerated the evolution of Azeroth's primitive species into sentient races. Among these races, the Trolls were the most powerful and resilient. One tribe, known as the Dark Trolls, was further evolved by the Well of Eternity into the first Night Elves. Blessed by the moon goddess Elune, they grew into a wealthy and powerful empire that reached its golden age under the mighty Queen of Shira.
Yeah. So, Goliath, thank you again so much for recording those intros for us. So the primary challenge for the Night Elf Empire is that each deck must contain at least 20 spells. No restriction on the spell school there. And the secondary challenge is that it's the return of Mega Highlander. There must be 120 unique cards across all 4 decks. So, Mega Highlander with each deck having at least 20 spells. This is a really fun one to make decks for. I've already played mine. Went 2, lost, but 2 to 3. Like it was a really epic one against Dankus Dad. So that was really fun. How did y'all your deck building experience go?
For me, my first 3 decks were easier to build. I sort of built. I kind of always just go like mage secrets. I'll do that. So that was easy, right? And then I did just like a Raza priest kind of thing, because you don't really need very many minions to that. I don't remember what my third one was, but by the time I got to my 4th one, I'd completely run out of ideas and time. I made this really horrible / awesome Highlander Kingsbane rogue that but when you only have one Kingsbane, I mean,
you gotta find it.
You gotta find it, right? So either I in practice would blow my opponent out of the water, or I just never drew my Kingsbane. So it was definitely really hit or miss. It was great when you got the Kingsbane, and if I didn't get it, I was just completely hooped, and I was buffing up my hero power.
Oh no.
But yeah, building was really fun. I really liked the challenge of building it. Having it to be spells was really cool. I really like that instead of just we've been doing a lot more minion based combat in the previous seasons, having the requirement of the 15 minions per deck kind of thing. But this was a spin in the opposite direction. We had to think more spells and unique cards. So I had a lot of fun. Unfortunately, I didn't actually get to play because my opponent didn't submit. But
rip.
I had fun making them and practicing with them. So.
And hey, your Kingsbane Highlander Kingsbane rogue went undefeated.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I was foiled hard this time by the bug that was floating around where I usually deck build on the computer, but I kept switching back and forth between iPad and computer. And I think Sheep and I both experienced this where I would build a deck or go in and make changes to a deck, and then I'd open it up on the other platform, and it was the changes didn't come through.
Mm-hmm.
And so it goofed me up, and I ended up tinkering with the decks multiple times because I went to go submit and it was wait, this is not right. Well, how did I want it? Wait a minute. And I don't know. It kind of threw me off, and so I was making a bunch of last minute changes. It's kind of funny. I actually got disqualified because my Warlock deck, one of my decks was I think 18 spells instead of 20. And I was just irritated. We played anyways for fun, I would have lost anyways. Like I went 2 and 3, so we went to 5 games.
Nice.
Which was really fun. It was really fun. So big shout out to Direst Bear, and it was a really great sport about it. And it was, it's my fault. I mean, so for the week I get a 0. My deck is invalid, but I just didn't use that one. You just counted that as the the ban, if you will, and then we just played it out just for funsies. So great sport, and I appreciate it. It was a lot of fun, and
that's cool.
Yeah,
If playing anyways, even if you kind of messed up, just playing for fun's kind of nice. I actually, after last week's show, the next day I played versus Martian Boo for my challenge the week before, and I had a great series versus Martian, and then I walked away feeling like a complete moron because I was trying to calculate my lethal, right? And I was trying to figure out I was playing a hunter where I had Dire Frenzied some rhinos, so they rush, right? And so I had 2 big ones, and then I had enough to hero power or animal companion, and I was trying to figure out which one I should do and trying to do the math. And I forgot that when you attack in with the rhino into something that has divine shield, that it's not going to now hit the hero. The divine shield sort of soaks up the whole thing. So I order lulled completely, and I missed my lethal.
No.
Like, I'm like, oh no! But Martian was he was a complete gentleman about it. He's like, that looks like something I would have done. Is what he said. And so congratulations to Martian. He's always the most wholesome.
A tale of terrible tragedy.
I'm blushing again just telling the story because I was so embarrassed. It was so funny.
oh dear.
Yeah. Mine against Dank's dad was incredible. So I had I call it a secret hunter. So I went completely spells with Rockdalar, and so pulled out a lot of secrets, and also had Tavish. Tavish did Tavish things. So
Nice.
that one was epic. And then he won. So that one was against his Warlock. And then I lost against Warrior. And oh gosh, what was the other one? But essentially, I won against the Warlock twice, and then it came down to a Warlock mirror for game 5. And I burned a couple of like really important pieces and thought I had it in the bag. And then he did a really cool Tamsin's Phylactery, the Phylactery with Kartut Defenders, and so healed up a ton and just like froze me out. And
Oh, wow.
like it was very well played. Like we were both on the fatigue and just kind of the game plan where you're just running your opponent out of resources, and we were both just like going toe to toe, running each other out of resources. It was great. And he had the combo in the bag, and I just didn't see it in the list. It was very well played by Dank's dad, the whole series, but particularly that final game, which went deep into fatigue. So that whole
Intense.
week was a blast.
That's awesome. Well, that's why, so we stream a match each week, or that's the goal anyhow, is to stream one after the show. And it's so fun, and it's a great opportunity for us to get to highlight, what this looks like for other people. So I'm excited. By the way, I had a pretty funny interaction this week with Abar, who's from Blizzard, who's in charge of their esports team. And so when you put on a tournament, you're supposed to get a license for it, or make sure that you have permission to do it is the correct way. And you don't have to, but then you risk them telling you to take it down. And we put so much time and effort into this, I wanted to do it the right way. And so I reached out and we got it cleared and everything was good. And so I got a message. He's like, by the way, what do you say? I really like your art assets or whatever it was.
Yeah.
It was so fun. I was like, you want to hire me?
The dream.
You know what? I asked. I mean, hey, shoot your shot, right?
Yeah,
Exactly.
it doesn't hurt to ask. Why not?
He laughs. He goes, I'm sorry. I don't think I have, a space on my team right now or something like that. It was so funny. I'm paraphrasing, but I think I sent the screenshots. Gosh, it was funny.
It was
But
good.
hey,
You miss like 100% of the shots you don't take.
that's right.
Exactly.
I was always told you don't get what you don't ask for, right? So, whatever. It was entertaining.
Absolutely. So, if you're watching live, stick around and we will cast the match between Maxi and Pigpen shortly. If, however, you're watching or listening on the replay, there will be a separate video posted on YouTube. So, if you want to catch that match, hop on over there. It'll be posted at the exact same time. I know Future Nate does that, just like past Nate has always done that thing too.
Yeah. It's
So,
I was just gonna say we've got it. It's all over our website too. If you don't want to like search for it or whatever on YouTube, if you go to our website, we'll always have like the most current podcast episode up there. We'll have the most current listener series match up there on their corresponding pages, and so check those out. That's the easiest place to find it. Probably it links directly to the YouTube.
yeah, so of course, that's borntobewildhs.com/listener-series if you want to go straight there. So that is it for the listener series this week. Can't wait to cast that match later. What, however, has been happening in the news? I've heard it's a pretty exciting news week.
Yeah, this all came super fast, but we have our mini set announced just today. It is called Throne of Tides, and for bonus points, the theme, the really cool theme, was actually predicted by Goliath, our very own Goliath the Dwarf. So its theme is Azumat, the fiend of the dark below, versus Neptulon, the lord of tides. The fight of the century, Wednesday, June 1st.
Wednesday.
You know what's crazy? I keep wanting to say that's incredible, and I can't say that because
That's incredible.
anyways, that's less than a week. So
Yeah.
they've on the website they've got the list of card reveals, and it's like they're dumping the entire thing over the next like 3 days, which I love getting the content like that quickly. Then we don't have all this waiting to do.
Mhm.
The excitement is abounding.
Heck yes, it does.
That is amazing. So, like usual with these mini sets, it's a 35 card mini set, including 4 legendaries. And one thing that's really neat, since it's on June 1st, is that's the ladder reset day. So, I mean, unless you're playing at midnight, you're probably going to play, after work or whatever, and with all the new cards, day one.
Right?
So-
That's the super rad thing. I'm so excited about getting to use new cards at the start of ladder, because it's like, if you transition mid climb, it's a little funky sometimes. The timing is really cool.
Because you could technically, right, if the set doesn't come out till like 9 or 10 in the morning, you could play previous to that if you played at midnight and try to do a race to legend at that point in time. I've got to go to work, so I'm gonna go to bed.
Right.
I'll play the cards when they come out, but it's so quick on my EU and Asia accounts. I'm not sure I'm up to the 2,000 gold. So yeah, by the way, it is $14.99 with real money, or the 2,000 gold, or you could pay $69.99 if you want the entire set golden right up front. And yeah, so I was thinking, since I always buy this with my 2,000 gold, at least on my free to play accounts, I'm like, crap. I'm not sure I'm actually at 2,000 yet, and I'm kind of bummed. So I guess I'm gonna be grinding the rewards track on the weekend, so I can make sure I have my 2,000 gold, so I can get the set right away. Normally, I feel like I already at this point would have had it, but you know what? I think I got the bug of opening too many packs after original pack opening. I've been spending too much of that gold on the packs because I'm normally quite far past this by now. I'd be at like, I don't know, 3,000, 4,000 or something. But I know I'm in the clear, but not
you
in the
could buy
clear.
a diamond Drekthar for that
Mhm.
and get it back.
Yeah.
And get it back.
I always go on this like pack buying frenzy after, like, as soon as nerfs are announced, because it's like, oh yeah, let me open those cards that just got hit so that I can dust them for extra dust, and then all my gold is gone. It's kind of what happened.
Yeah. So, what cards are in that we know about so far? What cards so far have been announced for the mini set?
Yeah,
We got it. We got a few. We got 3, and then we got the colossal ones, 2 that have been announced so far. So we could go over the just the regular cards first. But we got this cute little guy called Bubbler, which is a 1 mana 2/4 elemental that reads, after this minion takes exactly 1 damage, destroy it, and then in brackets, pop.
That's so cute.
I really hope when this thing dies, and I don't want to see it die because it's pretty cute, but when it does die, I hope it actually pops. That would be so funny.
To yes, and I hope that if it dies, not from being popped, that it has 1 animation and sound, but if it dies to just 1 damage and pops, that it's another one and does the like a little.
That'd be great.
Instead of a pop, it's more like a sploosh. Because it's got a big butt, right? Like,
Yeah.
So this thing basically, I mean, if you're versing like a druid or like a mage or a rogue or whatever, they can
Or a
hero
demon
power.
hunter.
Yeah, demon hunter. They could just hero power this thing down. So that's unfortunate, but they're also wasting their hero power on turn 1 or turn 2 to kill it. So that's not too bad either. If this thing gets to trade off into some other board-based decks, you're getting a lot of value for your 1 mana.
And it is an elemental. So there's energy there too.
Mm-hmm.
Any further comments on our cute little bubbler?
I just like that it's a new mechanic. It's really interesting when they do stuff like this. It's like, oh, this is new. This is cool. So yeah, I like it. I will see. I don't know that it'll see a ton of play, but I definitely want to experiment with it. I mean, but it's fun. It's fun.
I'm gonna try Bubbler and Aggro Druid. Yeah, that'll be fun. I don't know if it'll stick around because it probably won't, but it's gonna be fun.
Why not? All right, our next card that we had revealed is 4 mana 5/4 Coil Fang Constrictor. And it is a beast with the battle cry. Look at 3 cards in your opponent's hand. Choose one. It cannot be played next turn. Holy Disruption, Batman.
A shaman card.
Like, it's even too.
Oh dear.
Oh,
So this is
now you're speaking my language.
This is the card that accidentally got leaked when when the set came out. We were seeing this one and then it got pulled. I don't know if everybody remembers that, but it was like I saw this and my first thought was like, oh, Shudderwalk Shaman automatically, we'll just include in that deck, especially when this goes off multiple times. Like, just
oh my gosh,
irritate your opponent until they concede.
And
then it got pulled, and so that was the thought, like, oh, this is probably in the mini set, and lo and behold, here it is. So this card seems gnarly.
Yeah.
Oh my
Good
gosh.
stats for the cost. Premium effect. I don't know where you're really going to play this outside of just another disruption tool and Shudderwalk Shaman, but it'll be fun. And it is disruption regardless, so
It's neutral. Like, I don't know. Everyone's going to be playing it and just annoying each other to death. It's like Okani.
In standard, they've got Mutanus or Mutinous, right? So this is just something else, a tool for them that they can really annoy each other over there with. Oh no, yeah, like your quest rewards being delayed, all sorts of shenanigans or board clears.
I can never remember exactly the restrictions on Deathstalker Rexar, will this fit into the Rexar pool?
I-
I know that there are some, like, I want to say it's like 3 lines of text, but and this one has 4, so maybe not, but
It is a beast. That's what you bring it up? Yeah, I
Right,
think it has
right.
to have 3 lines of text. I don't think this. Who knows though? I mean,
But they could have used a smaller font.
right? Yeah, they could have also said discover a card from your opponent's hand. So look at 3 cards, discover. Like it seems like they may have phrased it in a way to extend it just a little bit to keep it out of the Rexar pool.
Yeah, they're just making it longer.
Yeah,
that's
because
great.
and choose one. Look at 3 cards, blah blah blah, and choose one. I mean that's
Instead
a
of just
whole line right there. Just saying, just saying. That's my
Wow.
tinfoil hat for tonight.
That's great.
I
They
think
don't
we
want
hit
it
the
to
nail on the head. That's great. All right, let's take a look at the next one. Also a beast. 3 mana, 3/3 Snapdragon. And its battle cry is give all battle cry minions in your deck +1/+1. Interesting. I'm getting those
It's the
what
mist
was it?
caller.
Yeah, the mist caller, Prince
Keliseth,
Keliseth,
yeah.
sort of thing that we had. Keliseth Rogue was awesome with Shadow Step.
This is only
Yeah.
battle cry minions though. So
Yeah.
So I looked at this and I was
So
like,
type in battle cry when you're searching for cards and building a deck, and put this in.
I love the artwork. I wonder though, like when I look at this, I'm like, hey, does this go in Shutterwalk? Probably not. I mean, the deck is so tight, but maybe like a Reno Shutterwalk. I don't know. It
Yeah,
feels
I
like
mean,
a kind of
even
a
that,
win more to me, but at the same
Yeah.
time, I kind of like it.
I like it too. I feel like I would want to put it in more of like a hunter type thing because it is a beast. There are a number of kind of like beast synergies. Like you wouldn't have to only run beast. You could run the 4 mana 3/4 that just rotated our way this past go around, where you discover a beast from your deck and give it stats. Wolpertinger is also that's a battle cry.
Oh,
Like there are lots of different possibilities there, right?
gross.
So
well, I like that though.
That's what I want to play around with.
Well, and it has beast synergy, and it makes me even wonder, like, we were playing like aggro beast druid not that long ago. Because this is a neutral, there's a lot of different potential, like, possibilities for its use. Having it only give bonus stats to battlecry minions makes it a little more difficult to build around, but it could be really strong. And at the end of the day, if nothing else, it's a 3 mana 3/3. So no, does it in your deck, and so it doesn't affect the board, it looks like, or anything
Doesn't
in your
affect
hand.
the board, doesn't affect your hand, just deck. So it's a 3 mana for half of an embiggen, and I like that.
We'll
to the
try
surprise
it.
of absolutely no one.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Sheep will jam that for sure.
Hey, why not?
Buffing is good. So we also got 2 colossals, the ones that are featured in our battle in this mini expansion. So our first one is Neptulon the Tide Hunter. Colossal +2 Rush Wind Fury. Oh my gosh. It's a 10 mana 7/7 Rush Wind Fury. Whenever Neptulon attacks, if you control any hands, they attack instead. And so the hands are these 4/2 hands. You get 2 of them that read immune while attacking.
They posted the videos on Twitter of these cards in play. In fact, maybe I'll pull it up super quick and put it on the screen because it's really interesting. Hold on 2 seconds for me to
1 Mississippi. 2 Mississippi.
All right. Here it is.
Here we go.
Let me see if I can make it a tiny bit bigger. This is the wrong one here. Hold on. Let me all right, Neptulon. I just have to get it in the right all right, it's a little bit small, but it's about as good as we're going to get.
Yeah.
But this is the card in action. It's pretty cool actually. This card I think is actually going to be is pretty solid.
Just by its description, it sounds amazing.
You will be crushed beneath the endless tide. Feeble prawns. Feeble prawns. Job's done.
Pretty solid. It's a little slow, right? But at the same time, the effect, like it's immediate. It attacks twice, and it can kill off 2 giant things. It's like like Raid Boss Onyxia, except you get 2 because it can go in twice. It seems really strong. I mean, it's 10 mana, but it's.
Ancestor's Call does not read 10 mana though. So
yeah, I know. And the way that the colossal effect works, right, is that it's just gonna like poop this guy out, and then you've got the arms, and it's an elemental. Yeah. Seems
my
good.
initial read was like, oh, I mean, it's a slightly worse Onyxia, but that's for not big decks. That's more the standard mindset. If we're looking at standard, I think that Onyxia is probably just slightly better. But for our purposes here in Wild, we have ways to cheat it out of our hand, to cheat it out of our deck. Muck Morpher.
Oh, gross. Oh, no. Man, I might see Big Shaman coming back. Interesting. Well,
That's what I'm thinking.
It's a neutral card, too. And it's an elemental. So if you really want to go down that path, like you play Nuzoth or something like that. Or, okay, here's the other piece, right? Because we've got now 2 new Colossals. This is going to impact Queen Ajara, and it's going to impact
Phelan.
Yes. Yeah. It was Ambassador Phelan that shuffles 3 to the bottom. And so we've got some more possibilities now too. So this will be interesting.
Yeah, I like how they're doing this theme of giving us these, 2 neutral Colossus. So everybody all the free-to-play players can jam these into their decks. They can buy this mini set for gold. They can have fun playing with these and with all of their classes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I think that's very free-to-play friendly and pretty neat. Speaking of the fact we've got 2 Colossals, the other one is a little cheaper. It's an 8 mana 6/5 Azumat. Colossal +6. So this one floods the entire board. It's got the death rattle for each of Azumat's tentacles. Destroy a random enemy minion. So its tentacles, I believe, are technically 1 mana 1/3s with 0 text on them. They don't say anything, do they?
I don't know. I'll pull up the video real quick. I've got some thoughts on this card as well, but let me.
Imagine it had taunt.
Or rush, or anything better than what it does have. Unfortunately,
the problem is, so it's only got 5 health.
The problem is it sucks.
6 attack. The problem is it sucks. Yeah.
All right.
yeah.
Okay, watch. So here's it in play. So the animation is rad, by the way.
So is your face. All those tentacles coming up. That is.
Hey, we did get
really
a Colossal
awesome.
+6 that we were wanting.
Yeah.
Right?
There's our bingo card.
Okay. Okay, so there we have it. I mean, I
love the animation whenever the tentacles like kill things. That's so cool.
It was really cool.
So if they you play this card and you flood the board on turn 8, woohoo, right? And then and then it's up to your opponent to come up with on turn 8 or 9 how to deal 5 damage.
Well, see, this is the problem.
Oh, sorry. No, wait. They have to kill the tentacles first. So they have to waste their time killing the 1/3s if they don't want to lose their board. So I guess now, let's trade everything off to kill this 1/3 or silence your Ozymandias, or just go face and kill you because it doesn't have taunt, right?
Well, that's the thing, right? If I'm playing Weapon Rogue or any aggressive deck and my opponent plays this, like I'm just going to ignore it and go face. And so...
Cool Azumat, bro.
Yeah. and then even if this thing does work like it did in the video, like in the end, then you were left over with a board of 1/3s, right?
Right.
Like how it happened, like, man. And that's now turn 9. You got the 1/3s. There's some cooler plays on turn 9.
Well, you know what though? Like, here's the only way I think this sees play. Like, it's a cool effect. The only way that this is going to see play is if you cheat it out. So I see in chat, right? Maxima Blast Timer, Flark's Boomzooka, or if we cheat it out with like Ancestor's Call or something like that. Because of the colossal effect, like, I mean, your opponent's gonna, like, when you play this, your opponent's like, oh, here we go. You know, or they just ignore it and go face. But if it's any other deck, like, you kind of got a problem. I think the Colossal +6 is a blessing and a curse, because if they're just taking up a bunch of board space, that's a thing. Like, hey, if I play this, I can't cube it, or I can't play any other minions because my board is now completely full, and I can't play a broom or something to give it rush because my board is full.
Right.
And so, you know, I mean, could you play a spell that kills one of them? Like, but what a lot of work to try to combo off with this.
Instead, you could just play Gigafen. And it just happens.
That's true. It's interesting. And I mean, I think that there's potential. I want to play it for the animation, if nothing else. So, hey, yeah, there you go. You play this in Token Druid because you got as your top end. That's hilarious. I don't know what to think about it. I think if it, you know, it could cost 10 mana and have Rush, or 10 mana and have Taunt, or something to make it a threat, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's possible that somewhere in the rest of the mini set are some interactions with this, you know, some death rattle, you know,
there might be, and actually
spells or something.
It's funny that you bring that up because they hinted at something, and I don't know if it's actually a thing or they're just being cute, but what is the word? They used a here we go. It says, turn the tides on your opponents with this infusion of 35 new cards. The fight for the throne of the tides requires strength and subterfuge. This mini set includes huge new colossal minions, more sunken city synergies, powerful disruption tools, and one adorable elemental. With all these new tools available to you, the throne will be yours for the taking. And so and it was interesting because they had the word subterfuge in like italics, and it's like, what are they hinting at here? I mean, is it just that it's like disruption stuff, or is there more funkiness coming? I don't know. Like my Astro type. What do they mean by subterfuge? I don't know.
Is there going to be more trickery?
I mean, we'll find out very soon.
Coming out.
It could also be a submarine pun.
That's
all I got, man.
That was pretty good. That's pretty good, though, not gonna lie. Yeah. So this is what we got so far. We're gonna get more revealed to us over the next few days. They're revealing them by class this time instead of like kind of random cards, and so that's neat. And I noticed that Raffle got a featured stream, so that's really cool. So congrats to Raffle and the State of Wild friends over there. Very cool when we get to see one of our Wild friends get some cool love from Blizzard. So
yeah, well earned, well deserved, and I'm glad that the Wild community, through Raffle, who is a fantastic figurehead for that, it is able to. He's not just as part of it; he's the one like moderating that one, which is also really cool. So congratulations, Raffle. well deserved, and we're happy to. The wild community as a whole is happy to ride your coattails. Wouldn't have any coattails we'd rather ride.
Hooray! Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see more. I mean, it's going to be a busy weekend, and so we could only cover a little bit here, but by next week's show, the entire set will be out, and then we can
Yeah.
we can talk about first impressions and stuff, and actually we'll have had a chance to play with them for a couple of days as well. So really looking forward to that.
Yeah, buddy.
Well, we had
So
one.
we do.
Yeah,
I was going to say the same thing.
one other topic to talk about tonight. So it was kind of silly. I without getting too far into it, we had a little bit of drama in the Discord over this week, which we don't normally have, which is kind of funny. But
Excitement abounds.
right. So so we had somebody in the Discord. They ended up leaving, but there was this constant frustration of can't find any decks to play with. Everything is against me. Everybody's high rolling. Everybody's I don't know. It was kind of some negative vibes, which we don't really like. But I think what we had sort of seen was co-op gone wrong a little bit, and so it was a good opportunity for us to talk about maybe how to do it right. So we've got a comment up on the screen here from Naya. It says, on an unrelated note, maybe this could be this week's show topic, what to expect and not to expect from co-op sessions. So here's what happened in this scenario. Again, without naming names or really getting into it too much, is that we had somebody who's trying to learn the game and try to improve and get better, doing a bunch of co-op. And unfortunately, I think if co-op is, I don't want to point fingers or anything, but if it's not treated as a learning experience, what happens, or I think what kind of happened in this scenario is especially when you're co-oping with 3 or 4 other people, is that you've got people telling you what to do. Oh, do this. Yeah. Oh, do that. Then do this. Oh, this is what they're going to do. And then, so this person hit legend, was like, oh, cool. I hit legend. I got the card back. Yeah. And then was having a really difficult time replicating it solo and raging pretty hard. Am I explaining that well enough?
Yeah.
It's kind of, and it was this constant frustration, and I think part of it is maybe some unrealistic expectations, and I think that, well, here's the deal. The Schmoopy Mommy hit legend when she first started playing because she's a rock star. It took me 2 years or something like that. Yeah,
it took me a while too.
And so we've gotten to the point where we're hitting every month or whatever. So I think it must have taken me about 2 years, I think. And it takes a lot of time and a lot of practice and a lot of, learning. And if you are co-oping with people and they're just telling you what to do and you just do what they do, it almost, in my mind, is you're not really piloting the deck. You're the one clicking the button, but you're not making the decisions. But I think co-op is a really valuable tool to learn. And I like to learn, especially from people who are better than me. And so, I mean, I do a co-op all the time, but I think it's the approach, what approach do you want to take? And so, for me personally, it's okay, what am I playing against? What are my options here? Here's what I'm thinking. What do you all think? Is there a line that I'm not seeing? But really trying to talk through and see different perspectives and learn. But I think is probably the right way to do it, as opposed to tell me what to do next. And I think that there's some decks, if you're trying to learn an APM heavy deck, back when Dark Lair was super strong, or APM Mage or Ignite Mage or something, it's you almost have to have someone tell you what to do, and then you do a post-op discussion after the match, okay, do you understand what just happened and why it happened and how it happened and what the combo is and how you do it next time. But if we're just talking through like, okay, what are your options here? What is your opponent going to play? What do you think you should do? That it's a really good learning opportunity.
And I think one of the problems that can happen, and we've seen happen, was that if you are sort of just, letting people tell you what to do, and suddenly now you have a lot more bonus stars than you used to have, that also means you have a higher MMR than you used to have. You are now in a group of people that get these higher ranks by themselves regularly. So once you go to play by yourself, unfortunately, you would be outclassed because these people are doing it constantly. They do it by themselves, and you did it once, and you're now in their league. Like if you are coached to get in their league, that's where you're at. So say you're a 5-star player, but you get coached into being a 9 or 10-star player. Next month, that's where you're at. You just jumped like 4 or 5 leagues kind of thing. So it's going to be hard. It's definitely going to be hard. And that needs to be something that you're considering when you're going into your games thereafter.
Yeah. Exactly. Whenever I'm entering a co-op whatsoever, I like to enter it really inquisitively as well. Just in general. So like, if I haven't been exposed to a deck yet, I haven't watched anyone play streams, then the very first like 2 or 3 games with that deck, and I'm still learning it, my co-op partner might kind of talk me through the each of the plays because I'm still learning it. I'm still seeing those. Really, before I get into that point, the very first thing I like to do is asking my co-op partner to talk me through the win con and play pattern of the deck. Like, if it's an aggro deck, I already understand those fundamentals pretty well. But if it's a combo deck, different combo decks play vastly different. So that's a really important aspect. So then whenever we're actually playing the deck, the very first couple times I'm still learning the deck. And then after I've learned the deck, as I said, 3 or 4, not like a ton of games, but a few. When I'm a little bit more comfortable with the deck, I pivot to saying what options I see that turn and kind of talk through, okay, here's what I see, here's what I see, here's what I see, and here's what I think I should do. And then I ask them if they think that's the right play or if I missed anything, right? Because in general, whenever I'm playing solo, be it at a computer, on the couch, in the bath, that's what I'm doing. Like, I'm like, okay, here are all my options. And then I choose one, right? Like, so it's, no surprise. I like playing Druid. Gotta choose one. So kind of talking through, okay, here are my options. And, each turn is a puzzle, right? So, okay, here are the different options. Here's what I think the solution to this puzzle is. My co-op partner is also there. What do they think it is? And, it's not structured like, okay, here's mine. Now you talk, that kind of thing. But organically, okay, I see this. What do you see? Like approaching a co-op session inquisitively is how you actually get better rather than, no shade. And if all you want to do is climb up some ranks, but then if you haven't learned, then like Hydra was saying, you're now are playing against people who already got there and who
you know what, it's merciless. And like one of the things at the higher levels is if you make a mistake, like I'm going to capitalize on your mistake, or if I make a mistake, they're going to capitalize on my mistake, and that's how you lose games or win games. And it's all learning, and that's great. I don't know, I feel like when I don't even know if I want to call it coaching, but like co-op or whatever, like if somebody wants to learn or ask me, hey, can you co-op with me? Like, okay. But before it even starts, I'm like, all right, here's how this is going to go. Like, I'm going to ask you, if you already know this, no offense, but I don't want to assume fundamentals. But what I like to do is, okay, you have this many mana. What possibilities. What can you do this turn? I see 3 things. What are they? And you really have to start looking at what options you have. Oh, I could hero power, or I could play this card, or I could play this other card, or I could just pass. Okay. Well, what do you think you should do? Well, I think I should do this. Okay, why? It's super annoying, right? But if you want to learn, like, it's how you learn. Or that's why I like to talk through my moves. It's like, well, I'm thinking this, and here's why I'm thinking it. And really, what's interesting is if you have 2 or 3 brains in there, sometimes you'll see things that each other missed. And I've had good experiences where even with skilled players, like, oh, I didn't see that line, or I'd say, oh, I didn't see that line. Or sometimes, like, I've had times where we just argue about it. And it's like, well,
which is kind of fun, honestly.
it's great. It's actually, it's really good. Or I think you had mentioned it in the Discord chat. How many times do we see the line of, well, I don't like it, but I think this is the best line.
Yeah.
But I've said that so many times, and there's great potential here. And so if anyone's interested, I kind of enjoy doing this, especially lately. I've been trying to keep my 11x, and so I'll rank up and then kind of camp out. And so I want to play, but I don't really want to play. But I don't mind playing with other people. So if that's something that anyone wants to do, happy to talk through. But I love it being a learning experience. The only other thing I would recommend is to try to keep it to a smaller group, 1 or 2 other people, because when you've got 7 people
that are all playing the same game,
oh my goodness, it's impossible. I've done it before where there's
too many
people,
cooks,
and it's just impossible. Or sometimes people like to hang out in the group chat just to chit chat, and that's kind of fun. And this is why we've got multiple voice channels in the Discord, so that if somebody's wanting to co-op versus just hang out and chat, because you can share your screen and like stream inside Discord, and it's frequent sometimes to see 2 or 3 people sharing their screen at the same time, which is really cool if you're just hanging out and it's chill, and you play Mercs or BGs or laddering or whatever for fun. But if you're really trying to like co-op, might want to do it somewhere else. So anyways, good times. But it was an interesting chain of events that happened earlier this week that kind of sparked this conversation. And I think there's potential there. It's all learning experience. And even then, at the end of the day, like, this is a game. And I always kind of fall back on that Captain Picard quote that, like, it's possible to do everything right and still lose.
Mm-hmm.
And that happens, and you kind of got to just walk away. And if you find yourself losing like 3-4 games in a row, like, maybe take a break. Even if you don't think you're tilted, probably really tilted.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
And at the end of the day, there's no real wrong way to co-op. The examples we're giving are how to get the most out of your co-op, right? If you just want to hang out, if you just want to kind of turn your brain off and have someone explain plays, that's kind of okay too. But if you're trying to get something from your co-op, then that's not really how you achieve that goal. So I mean, if that all you want to do is hang out and get the reps in with someone else kind of driving, there's nothing wrong with that either, truthfully. But if you're trying to have results from it more than just that one session, you won't get that out from it unless you enter it inquisitively, like we discussed here.
Yeah.
Well put.
Most excellent.
Buddy.
All right. Well, I don't think there's really much more to say there. I really do enjoy it. I mean it. So if anyone is interested in co-oping, like, hit me up in Discord, and I'd be happy to have that conversation and find some time. It's always fun.
Yeah, we all like talking, so
clearly.
Really?
What? We should start a podcast.
Whoa, genius idea.
Don't tempt me. Yeah.
We did
buddy.
consider having like a second episode every week for a while there.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that we did. I don't know that we should have stopped considering that thing, but
Oh boy.
Yeah. Well, let's move into our weekly listener challenge. So the last couple weeks we switched it up. Nate had the idea of trying some of the custom card building contests that you see on other websites, such as like out of dot cards and Hearthstone and stuff like that. And it first week was a hit. We got lots of submissions. It was great to see everybody turn out for that. So we decided to do it again. And in honor of the rotted zombie being on our show last week, we decided to this time do make an even warlock card. And it didn't have to be legendary, so it could be a 2 of. And just basically, what do you think would slot into even lock? Obviously, not just some crazy overpowered thing that is broken and would just get banned out of Wild, but just something that would go in and we would definitely slot into that deck. And it was suggested to us to maybe, instead of just picking, one card, maybe showcase the sort of top 3 that we were looking at.
Yeah, I like that.
yeah. So I think looking at what we've discussed, behind the scenes, we have I think consensus number 2 and number 3, or sorry, number 2 and number 1.
Mm-hmm.
The most important, the crowning achievement there is that number 1.
Right.
That's the one that wins the packs, and the honor on the website, etc. But I haven't done the maths. Nate, do we have a consensus number 3 as well?
I don't think so. I don't know.
I don't think that we do.
So one that I just barely cut whenever I was coming up with my third was the other one that Hydra put. So if I'm gonna put my hoof on the scale, then I'm gonna have Witch of Shadows be our number 3.
Awesome.
Cool.
Okay.
I'm down with that.
Let me just save these real quick, and so I can put them on the screen because these are super cool.
They really are. The effort, the art, the like everything. Just y'all did an amazing job. So kudos. It's incredible. So I'll briefly explain Witch of Shadows, which is our number 3. And do you
know who submitted this, by the way?
I know our other 2, but I don't Witch of Shadows offhand. So while Nate finds that up, I will explain Witch of Shadows for our audio listeners. So Witch of Shadows is a 6-mana 6/6 demon.
It's Stazari.
By Stazari. Congratulations, Stazari. This was an incredibly even Warlock card. This is definitely what they want. So one of the things they want. Yeah. So it's a 6-mana 6/6 demon with Battle Cry. If your hero's health changed this turn, summon a copy of a random minion from your hand. So
yeah, I like this.
What minions does Even Lock run?
Oh, let me think.
Big
Giants.
ones.
Do they happen to also run something that gives the things around it Wind Fury?
Yep. That also that.
This seems great.
Yeah. I was trying to figure out what would be the best cost mana for this, because at first I was looking at it going, yeah, but in even lock I'm used to paying like 0 or like 2 or something for my cards. This is expensive. Then I was like thinking about it, if we brought it down to 4 mana, I'm like, that would be absolutely broken.
Yeah. No.
I think 6 is exactly where it sits. It's the exact cost you would need for this.
It could be crazy. You'd have to build around, right? Because if it pulled a giant, or if it pulled like Localar or an Atheron or something, it'd be great. But you don't want it to pull one of your like little wimpy minions, and so you'd have to be careful like what you put in your deck, which I like. It's not just a like an auto include, you'd have to kind of think about it. When we were looking last week,
Shields up.
right,
Shields down.
And here's our 2-3.
Whoops. And actually, Staz is in chat, and they say I felt one thing I changed was to remove quote unquote a copy, as that could make it insane for double giants or an Ethron. So it'd be, instead of a copy, it would be summon a random minion from your hand, which I like. Hey, that's cool. Really fun
Copy is
card.
great because if you kind of pull something that had a battle cry, or you pull just something that you wanted to use, like maybe you wanted to actually save your Gigafin or something, I don't know. But the fact that it's a copy, it's great because you still have the original one in your hand, or the other giant that you're plopping down anyway.
Yeah. I really like it being a copy as well for Battlegrounds Battlemaster. You know, the one that I was mentioning earlier, that the one that gives the minions around it Wind Fury.
Mhm.
You know, yeah, cool. Like I drop this, it's, you know, another body, which is great, but then I'm not pushing for lethal with this. Then you still have your win condition in hand. So if it pulled it out of your hand, it would make for more interesting plays, but it would also, I think, make it a little bit I don't know that we would run it as much. So I actually really like the copy of a random minion. I like it the way it is.
I do too. And when it pulls, like if there's a battle cry, it wouldn't trigger, which I like as well.
Mm-hmm.
Neat card. I'd like to play it. Gosh,
Yeah.
I wish that we could, you know, if there was like a sandbox mode where people could actually create cards and play with them, it'd be crazy cool.
I wish. But then everyone would demand that their card gets in the game.
That's true. That's true.
Oh, also noteworthy, the inlay. So two noteworthy things. One is that the inlay for this one is from Skolomance, and it is a dual class card for Priest and Warlock.
Oh, I love
which is
that.
pretty cool.
That's very
Good point. I like that as well. So our second place that we have picked for this challenge, Pokeniner submitted Soul Shatter, which is a 4-mana shadow spell. Discover a minion in your deck, destroy it, and deal its attack to all enemy minions. This is a banger, I think. This card, it's like a Shadow Flame. But you get to pick out of your deck. And what do you run? Like we said before, you run big minions, right? So it's like, which big minion am I gonna pick to destroy the whole board? Because you know what, Blister Guy says this quite often. If you haven't drawn, if you haven't drawn the card, pretend it's on or you've burned a card. You can pretend it was on the bottom of your deck, and you may not have drawn it anyway, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you're destroying your card when you play this, right? But you never drew it in the first place. You're not gonna win if your opponent has a full board. So who cares? You kill one of your giants, and you're still alive to continue to possibly win the game. So I like this.
Oh gosh, I like Cyberon's comment.
Yeah.
You want to discover Gen.
Yeah,
Like, that'd be so good though, right? Like if you would actually get to thin your deck. Like there's a card in there that you don't want. Like I mean, Gen is the perfect example, right? That like get it out of there, but it's also a board clear.
Yeah,
but
genius.
You know, it's interesting. I think I asked Pokeniner when they posted this, like, would its Death Rattle trigger? No, the answer is no. Like it's like it's gone, but it would deal the damage, which is really cool. I like this especially because it doesn't feel OP. It feels complex and unique, and also it fits the theme really well. So
yeah.
Oh man.
Also noteworthy is that the inlay is from the Witchwood, which I thought was really cool.
And it's a shadow spell. Very
Yeah.
cool.
All right. Drum roll, please. Our number one first place winner, Pigpen, with a 0-mana spell, Blood Buffet. Spend all your mana, draw that many cards, and deal that much damage to your hero.
That's rad. And look at
What?
not only is Pigpen put this like in an overlay, like you're actually looking in your collection, and there's flavor text.
And the flavor text is delicious. It reads, "Sometimes you just shouldn't say all you can eat." At the blood buffet.
Definitely the bonus points for having the flavor text on there.
This is great. There was a lot that I really liked too. I think there's so many cool ones this time around. I love this one as well. I think this was one that we all agreed on. And it's so complex that just really cool. You can use it, it can be, you can use it if you've got 3 mana or like on one of your non-even turns. But it does what Warlock wants to do, but you pay the price for it. Thematically, it's really good. It helps
paying the price, get Molten Giants, right? That's
it's really good. Yeah, this is fun. I would play this in a heartbeat. And it's super cool.
So,
and you know what? Sorry, I was just gonna say, sometimes there's occasions that like you want to have a full hand, right? But sometimes you're trying to decide, should I defile or should I use my Glocka Crawler? But you're still trying to tap to get a full hand. If you already have this in your hand, you actually wouldn't be afraid to spend a card early or something because this is refill, right? Like,
yeah.
Can we make this real?
Oh my gosh, there were so many. I want to say also big ups to Mickle. I loved Prize of Power. I think it was really cool. I liked it a lot. The idea of it is really cool. We also really liked MacGyver's Price of Avarice. It was more thematic towards like discard Warlock instead of even lock, but it's really cool. Like, really like the idea.
Loved it though.
It's hard to even to come up with the winners here because they're all really cool. I haven't had this much fun in ages, like looking at custom cards. It's not something we'd explored that much, but we've been getting so much interaction that it's really cool, and we could talk about it for days. The weekly challenge channel is turning into the custom card channel, and it's awesome. Like, absolutely love it. So I'm thrilled. There's a bunch of submissions we didn't even get to. They're so fun. There's so many good ones, and it's like it's just mind blown. So
if you want to see the rest, join the Discord and check out the weekly challenges channel, and you can read them all for yourself there.
Absolutely. And if you submitted and you didn't win, like, it doesn't mean that we thought your card sucked. Like, it's just really hard to choose because there's really good ones. So please, like, keep participating. Love it.
Yeah. None of them were bad at all. These were just the best ones. The cream of the crop that nailed the not just a Warlock card that is even, but like fitting.
Oh, the theme is so good.
Like on point, just incredible.
Did we say this is from Pigpen, by the way, who is participating in tonight's listener series streamed match after the show as well. So Pigpen, congratulations. Excellent work.
Sheep, you had the idea for this week's challenge. Would you like to share?
Absolutely. So my idea for this week's challenge is, surprise, surprise, another custom card competition. So, we're getting some pretty cool new Colossal minions. I want to see what the coolest Colossal minion is. So in the set proper, we had every class had their own class Colossal minion. With the mini set, we're getting neutral Colossal minions. So I want to see the coolest Colossal minion you can create. It doesn't need to be, the widest or the biggest, and it doesn't need to be +6 or anything, but just the coolest Colossal minion. That's what I want to see.
I will tell you that for me personally, the ones that really like make an impression are the ones that think outside the box, where it's it doesn't. I will say, if the card is super weak or if the card is super OP, like, it's a little much, but I love seeing the ones that like really want to do something different. One of my favorite ones from, I think it was the week before last, was we were talking about the dormant cards, and it was like, it was the Demon Hunter weapon. I think it was Fluke
Yeah.
that submitted it. That was like Death Rattle, go dormant. While this is dormant, your hero has Wind Fury, and it was like, what? Like that this has never been done before, and it had nothing that I had ever even considered before, and it just blew my mind. And so things like that are just really outside the box approach, it's just crazy cool. And so I love seeing the ideas that people come up with. And so when we mean cool, like it's very subjective, but do something cool.
Yeah.
So
Have
Bonus
fun.
points if it's actually a cool card, like ice to meet you.
So I think Hydra's saying, put the Knights of the Frozen Throne inlay on that one.
that's
Maybe some flavor text. That is not required, but I just got a kick out of the flavor text on the one we had tonight.
It was glorious.
oh, the flavor text is so fun. Yeah.
So
Well,
to enter, this is not one that challenges can be played in casual on ladder. So post in our Discord on the weekly challenges channel once you have created the card at hearthcards.net. So hearthcards.net, create your custom card and drop it in the weekly challenges channel in the Discord. The winner will be announced on next week's show and receive 2 Hearthstone packs on us and be immortalized in the Hall of Fame on the Born to Be Wild website, just like Pigpen from this week. We really look forward to seeing what crazy, colossal things you come up with.
Let's go. I love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. All right, everybody. That about wraps it up for this week's show. Thank you all for hanging out. Again, really excited to be here. We've got some cool things coming up in store. We've got a really special guest coming on in the not too near future that we're trying to work out some details and stuff, but announcement of the announcement. So that'll be really fun. And for all of those hanging out here tonight, thanks again. Please stay tuned. We're going to be casting a match really shortly. For those of you watching this on YouTube or listening to the audio version, please head over to our website or our YouTube channel and check out this week's Born to Be Wild Listener Series match. It's going to be an epic showdown here. So again, thank y'all for hanging out, and we will see you next week on another new episode of
Born to be
wow.
wild.
Yeah.
Oh, I clicked the wrong one. I wanted to use this one.
I made a stinky.
Yeah, there we go.
Glorious and terrible.